All right, beautiful people, feeling a little better. I think I need to go back a little bit in my series. This is about co-parenting with the narcissist. I think I need to go back and catch everyone up with how we met. My first series, I touched on it about how we met. Let's see. I was have been in Birmingham that long. Met him in Birmingham, Alabama. Um, I was working at a school, a private school, and long story short, while I was working there at the school, I figured out that it did not align with my belief system in the way I wanted to do things. So I uh, was in the process of looking for more employment. But I told administration, everything. I told them, everything that I thought, everything that I felt. Um, and I don't know. I mean, we couldn't come to a whatever. So I just decided it was better for me to get another teaching job. So I had started putting out applications and everything, but long story short, whenever I met him, I was already looking for other employment when I met him. I was also going through a transition, because as I stated before, I had a very sheltered childhood, and I'll get more into that later on, but I had a very sheltered childhood. I was raised in Church of Christ. I could not wear pants. I could not celebrate holidays. I could not go to anything that was school related. I didn't go to parties. I didn't go to, I couldn't do any extracurricular activities, because basically if it interfered with church, I wasn't allowed to participate in it. So it really didn't matter what I wanted to do or how I wanted to do it. I couldn't do it because everything was pretty much controlled by my grandparents. My grandparents raised me and my brother. Our real mom died when I was 3 and my brother was 5. So, like I said, we had a very sheltered. I had a very sheltered childhood. Pretty much, they were more like if it wasn't in the Bible, then we couldn't do it. Like I said, I didn't wear pants, didn't celebrate holidays, couldn't go to any parties, or couldn't go hang out with people. I couldn't even go like study with people. I had like a core group of friends that were kind of similar to me in some ways, but I wasn't really like a lot of people. So it wasn't until graduation that I realized how popular I was. But I was popular because I was different and because I was smart. Now I was bullied a lot. I was bullied a lot. And I was bullied for things that I had no control over. Like I was bullied for having long hair. I mean, at the time, my mom used to press my hair with a straightening comb. If you know what that is, she would put the straightening comb on the stove, and she would press my hair. I got burned several times. I got popped several times, but she would press my hair. She pressed my hair with the straightening comb until I was about 16. I got a perm. I didn't get a perm until I was 16. From the time I was little all the way to high school, I believe, I wore like ponytails. Yeah, I wore ponytails. And then I think when I turned like 14 or 15 is when she finally like let me have a say-so when it came to my hair. I never had a say-so in what I wore. I never had a say-so in that until I literally left the house. That's when I had a say-so of what I wore. But you think about it, if you grow up not wearing pants, and I wasn't that person that tried to sneak and do things either, because I always felt like if I snuck and did it, I would get caught or somebody would tell on me. So I wasn't that. Oh, and then my grandparents, he was a minister. I left that part out. That's a key part. He was a minister. He was a minister. She was a minister's wife. So, they had these high expectations of, me and my brother. So it was a lot that we could not do. No, not being negative, but I'm just stating the facts right now. I feel like they did the best my mom felt like she did the best that she knew how with what she understood. So anyway, so I had to say all that so you to see. Now I have graduated high school, I have graduated college, I have been to the military, and I have been in different relationships before I met their dad. But it seemed like I always kept picking the same type of guy. But I figured out what it was about me, that kept attracting that type of guy. So when I met him, I was going through this phase where I was pretty much like, you know what? Forget everything that I've ever been told. Forget everything I've ever been taught. I'm going to go off of what I want to do and what I feel like. And there was this show that had not too long came out. It was called Star. And one of their theme songs is called I Bring Me. So I was big into that whole, I'm going to do me. I'm doing me type. I was in that phase of my life of I'm doing me. So, everything had been pretty much focused around what I thought the Bible said, what I thought my parents said, what other people thought, how other people felt. I was pretty much like, you know what, I'm doing me. So when I met him on, I believe it was Facebook, and we messaged a lot. All right. So, like I was saying, I was going through that phase where I'm doing me. And so when I met him, we met online, of course. We messaged for a long time. I refused to call him. So finally I called him. This went on for several months, actually. And then we started conversating. Now, the conversation was about the Bible, religion, spirituality, fitness, health, wealth, different things like that. There was nothing, it was good conversation. Like, we would stay on the phone a very long time. And the way he played it, which is funny now when I think about it, the way he played it is that we would stay on the phone for like hours at a time. But, so you would think, okay, so if I'm on the phone with this person, like literally hours at a time, they cannot be in a relationship, right? But, when I look back and I think about it, the way he got around it is he would tell me to hold on right quick, or hold on for a minute. Now, you're not thinking about the fact that when you're on the phone with a person, you're not realizing like actually how long they put you on hold. So that's what he was doing. He was putting me on mute, and he was putting me on hold, like when he had to interact with his other friends, because come to find out, he was telling everybody that he wasn't a relationship person. But well, anyway, it took several months for him to convince me to even go hang out. And all the red flags were there. But like I said, I was on that tip of I'm doing me. So I felt like this would just be a fun little experiment of I'm doing me. And there would be no consequences for my actions. And I felt like if there were any consequences, I could handle the consequences, right? That's what I was thinking. So I'm not knocking people, they do that. But now looking back at it, but really, honestly, I don't have any regrets either, though, because when I look back at it, I did have a lot of fun. But like I said, I was in that spot mentally where I was just like, you know what, I'm going to do me. I don't care what other people think and what other people say. And like I said, all the red flags were there. But I'm going to get into the red flags in the next part. So, see you guys on the next part.